Welcome and good evening, everyone. I'm Len Abaduto, President of the Aaidd Board of Directors. I'm very pleased to welcome you to this virtual awards reception for our 145th annual meeting, which is being broadcast on YouTube. We have a number of people to recognize this year. However, because our 2020 conference was canceled, I'd like to take a few minutes to recognize the people who were selected for honors last year. First, the Aaidd Awardees from 2020. Grace Francis of George Mason University, the Early Career Award. Carolyn Graff of the University of Tennessee Health Science Center, the Education Award. Dandi Odgarel of the Mongolian National University of Education, the International Award. Joanna Pearson of the Arc of Frederick County, the Leadership Award. Hearts of Glass, Gen 10 Productions, the Media Award. National Core Indicators Program of HSRI and NASDDDS, the Policy Award. Beth Mallow of Vanderbilt University Medical Center, the Research Award. Marco Lombardi of University College Ghent, the Service to the Association Award. Celia Feinstein of Temple University, the Service to the Field Award. Alan Santinelli Martino of McMaster University, the Student Award. David Thyssen of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, the Exceptional Services to the Association Award. Barbara Mazzella of the Massachusetts DDS, the Distinguished Career Recognition. Lorraine Glidden of St. Mary's College, and Steve Warren of the University of Kansas with the Presidential Award. Next, I would also like to take a moment to recognize the Aaidd Fellows from 2020. Anthony Antosh of Rhode Island College, Megan Burke of the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, Claudia Claes of the University College Ghent, Tina Campanella of the Quality Trust for Individuals with Disabilities, Carolyn Cofield of the Robert Woods Johnson Medical School, Joyce Loudon of the Louisiana Department of Health, Office for Citizens with Developmental Disabilities, Cynthia Potter of the Merake Allegheny Valley School, Lynn Tomasa of the University of Arizona, Susan Yuan of the University of Vermont. Turning now to this year, each year the President may recognize an individual with a presidential award. Recipients of this award are honored in recognition of their exceptional service to the association in advancing the association's mission, goals, or principles. And the 2021 Presidential Award is presented to Marianne Romsky of the University of Georgia.
Thank you, President Abaduto, for this award. It's an honor to receive this acknowledgement of my service to advancing Aaidd's mission, goals, and principles. And it's humbling to be in the company of the past recipients of the President's Award. When I joined Aaidd as a graduate student at the University of Kansas in 1980, I had no idea how central Aaidd would be to my professional life and development. Communication is essential for all people to be successful in life. Ensuring that all individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities have the right to communicate via any number of means has been the central focus of my research, practice, and service as a speech-language pathologist. Aaidd taught me to think beyond my profession in so many ways, highlighting interprofessional collaborations and giving me so many treasured colleagues outside of my own profession. I'm pleased to be able to contribute to Aaidd's mission, goals, and principles. Again, I thank you for this award. I will cherish it.
Each year, the board may acknowledge the significant contributions to the association for individuals who have an illustrious career and have made significant contributions to the field of intellectual disability and related developmental disabilities over an enduring period of time. This year, the board determined that distinguished career recognition would be used to bestow honors on Celia Feinstein, who was recently retired from Temple University. She was presented this honor at a small virtual reception last week. This year, the association published the 12th edition of its manual. The authors of this work relied on the knowledge and contributions of a 32-member International Expert Advisory Committee. Each member of the Expert Advisory Committee has been presented with a plaque in honor of their contributions, and we're very pleased to recognize them here. Julia Balboni, Alex Bernardi. Will Buntings, Serafino Buono. Diego Castañón, Attila Kavkatar. Luigi Croce, Deborah Fiedler. Randy Floyd, Marty Ford. Sandra Friedman, Glenn Fujiro. Lisa Greenman, Susan Haverkamp. Amy Hewitt, Yunji Yong. Cheryl Larson, Kevin McGrew. Laura Lee McIntyre, Dion Marin. Elizabeth Perkins, Rick Rader. Anthony Rodriguez, Sofia Santos. Carrie Sjogren, Peter Smith. Roger Stancliffe, Jim Thompson. Miguel Verdugo, Mian Wang. Michael Waymeyer, Keith Whitteman. The Disability Experience Expert Panel, or DEEP, of the Ohio State University Rehabilitation and Research Training Center on Health and Function for People with Intellectual Disability. Turning next to the authors of the 12th edition, Bob Shalak, Ruth Luckerson, and Mark Tassay, I'm very pleased to announce that the board has determined to present these three luminaries with the Exceptional Service to the Association and Field Award. This award is presented only very occasionally and recognizes individuals for their extraordinary efforts that have served and advanced the field and the association. The work of these three individuals has advanced the field in understanding, defining, and classifying the construct of intellectual disability. Through this and their previous editions of the manual, AAIDD has made the most current understanding of intellectual disability widely available and provided clinicians with guidelines for defining, diagnosing, and classifying intellectual disability.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm holding here an absolutely beautiful, beautiful plaque that I received for what's called Exceptional Services to the Field and the Association. Of all the awards I've received over the years, this Exceptional Service Award is really very special to me for a number of reasons. First, it reflects the vision and the insight and the dedication of those professionals and self-advocates who over the years have provided the field with best practices regarding defining, diagnosing, classifying, and planning supports for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Since 1990, a long time ago, I've had the privilege and the pleasure of working with countless wonderful people who also should be recognized for their exceptional services to the field and to the organization. I want to share this award with each of the dedicated people who served on the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th TNC committees, and more recently on the 12th edition's International Advisory Committee. Second, the reward symbolizes the beauty and the synergy of relationships. Throughout our 5-year journey developing the 12th edition, Ruth and Mark were more than co-authors. They were my mentors, my valued colleagues, and my inspiration. To each of these people, I say thank you, dear friend. Third, the award reminds me of 30 years of planning sessions, conference calls, face-to-face meetings, and editing sessions. Believe me when I say they have been an important part of my life and truly a labor of love. And finally, I'd like to thank the AID staff for successfully overcoming the challenges of a virtual conference. I know it's meant a tremendous amount of additional work for each of you, and my thanks. Hopefully, reality and real hugs return next year. In the meantime, Sue and I send you a virtual hug and our very best wishes. My congratulations to each of the awardees, and each of you take care. And again, I send my very best wishes. Thank you.
I want to give a big thank you to the leadership of AAIDD for this beautiful award, and to all my AAIDD colleagues who I've had the opportunity to meet and work with over the years. AAIDD has been a really important professional home for me and for all of us who are committed to the field of IDD and to helping create a better future for all people. I'd also like to thank my husband, Dr. Larry Davis, and my family who support me and my work every single day. A big thank you to Bob Shalak and Mark Tassay and all the members of the advisory committee who have been and are and continue to be just wonderful, wonderful colleagues in this work. And finally, I'd like to thank my colleagues and students at the University of New Mexico who have built a learning community focused on people with disabilities and their valued community membership. And I appreciate everything that my UNM group has done for many years. So thank you for this beautiful award, and onward.
Well, I want to thank AAIDD, the board of directors, Maggie Nygren, the executive director, for this fantastic award. What a great year, what a great award to a really crappy year with COVID and all. I know, I wish we were all in person at the AIDD annual meeting, but really receiving this award is such an important and flattering end to my COVID year. I'm excited. I want to thank, in addition, I know this award, I'm receiving this award for the work that we've done on the 12th edition of the AIDD manual. And that work really has been important teamwork over many years. So I really feel like I share this award and want to acknowledge my two co-authors and collaborators, Bob Shalak and Ruth Lucason, who are just great collaborators, great colleagues, and just all around great people, nice people. Can't think of better colleagues to have spent the last few years working on this manual, which was done also with important input from a very large interdisciplinary international group of colleagues, esteemed colleagues, who agreed to work with us on our advisory committee, and you saw them all here pictured before. And these contributions from these colleagues really were important towards increasing the relevance and making sure that the manual was really the best manual that we could all produce. And again, lastly, I want to thank the people in the field, the professionals in the field who stay current, who use this manual, who make this work and these hours that we put in really worth the time and energy, because you use the manual, you use it and improve the care and the service to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So thank you. Thank you, AIDD, for this award. I'm so excited to receive it.
Before I turn the podium over to Kathy Ficker-Terrell to present the 2020 AAIDD Awards and announce our newest fellows, I'd like to share with you the students and early career professionals who, on the basis of their conference proposals, were selected for registration scholarships. Janeth Ailman Tovar, Elizabeth Biggs, Geraldine Boland, Catherine Brendley, Jennifer Bumble, Amy Castagnino, Sarah Carlson, Sarah Collins, Taylor Dumota, Jennifer Taylor Eaton, Sherry Hopkins, Ahmed Hosseini, Stella Shi, Aiting Wang, Christina Inglis, Yale Carney Weissel, Jung-Yoon Lee, Fatih Merel, Julianne Myers, Jade Presnell, Christina Rios, Ariel Schwartz, Lisa Sheth, Sharish Shikaparuya, Tracy Sinclair, Lucia Moran Suarez, Josh Taylor, Emily Cooper Tucker, Elisa Lockman Turner, Hatis Uanic, Emily Van Gaspik, Kelly Wiles, Haley Zion. It's now my pleasure to introduce Kathy Ficker-Terrell, the chair of this year's Awards and Fellowship Committee.
Thank you, Len. I'm so pleased that we will be recognizing a number of people for their meritorious contributions to the field. Before we begin our program, I would like to thank the members of the Awards and Fellowship Committee for all their hard work in evaluating the nominations. First, it gives me great pleasure to recognize AAIDD's newly selected fellows. AAIDD fellows are individuals who have been members of the association for at least 7 years, participated in the professional and business affairs of the association, made meritorious contributions to the field, and been judged by their peers to be worthy of the honor of Fellow of the association. It is with great pleasure that I recognize the individuals who have been selected to join the ranks of Fellow in 2021. Evan Dean of the University of Kansas. Laura Gomez of the University of Oviedo. Julie Greaves of the Wisconsin Department of Corrections. Dorothy Hersteiner of the Human Services Research Institute. Bruce Kessling of the University of Tennessee Health Sciences Center. Donald Miller, a psychologist who practices in Connecticut. Anthony Rodriguez of Providence College. Hilda Trahan of Evergreen Life Services. Elizabeth Kerfis Watts of Delta American Healthcare. Kendra Williams Diem of the University of Oklahoma. and Heather Williamson of Northern Arizona University. Now, it gives me great pleasure to present and recognize AAIDD's 2021 awardees. Each September, AAIDD issues a call for nominations for awards to be presented at the next annual meeting. The award categories, their purpose, eligibility, and nominations instructions are posted on the website. This fall, we invite you to submit one or more nominations for AAIDD's 2022 award program. For our first award, it gives me great pleasure to present the Early Career Award to Angela John Thurman of the University of California, Davis. This award is presented to recognize a contribution or achievement in the field of intellectual and developmental disabilities by an individual in the early stages of their career.
Thank you, AAIDD, for this award. It is an enormous honor to be awarded the 2021 Early Career Award. And looking at the past awardees and my amazing colleagues within the field, I am humbled to be selected. I was fortunate to be welcomed into the field of intellectual and developmental disabilities as an undergraduate student. Since that time, I've had the privilege of working with so many amazing mentors and colleagues who have taught me so much, supported my career development, and helped me find my way. I also could not do any of this without the families we serve. I'm indebted to our families for their time, their support, and their partnership. I feel truly lucky to be part of such an incredible community and could not do what I do without all the amazing people around me. Thank you all, and I hope we will be able to all meet together next year.
For our next award, it gives me great pleasure to present the Education Award to LaRon Scott of Virginia Commonwealth University. This award is presented to recognize significant contributions to dissemination of knowledge in the field of intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Hello, everyone. I was extremely shocked and overjoyed when I got notice that I was the recipient of the 2021 Education Award for AAIDD. This award really means so much to me personally and professionally, as I really have been made to feel at home with AAIDD. My contributions of knowledge to the field of IDD would not be possible without understanding firsthand how far we've come with making inclusion of people with IDD a human rights approach, and that includes the necessary steps in pursuit of equity and inclusion of people of color with IDD. I have to give a shout out and thank my friends and colleagues in the organization, and that includes a special shout out to the Education Interest Network, including Lena Landmark, Kendra Williams Diem, Colleen Toma, Susan Palmer, and many others who have been supportive of my wild ideas early on when joining the organization. Additionally, I'd like to thank both Carrie Shogren and Michael Waymeyer, whom I've looked up to and who have been supportive on so many fronts. I do have to admit that I felt pretty special receiving an award that Michael Waymeyer was a past recipient of. Additionally, thanks to all the incredible hardworking teachers, paraprofessionals, counselors, psychologists, social workers, principals, and other educators who have been on the front line during the crisis the world has faced. Without your contributions, we would struggle to ensure that people with IDD receive the proper educational supports needed to live their best life. In closing, again, I want to say thank you to AAIDD and others who had a chance or hand in helping supporting this prestigious award for me. I hope to see and thank everyone in person next year. Be safe and thank you.
For our next award, it gives me great pleasure to present the AAIDD Hervey B. Wilbur Award for Historic Preservation to Peg Gould of Vision's Center for Creative Management. This award is presented to recognize significant contributions to the historic preservation of the archives of the field of intellectual and developmental disabilities and/or the association.
I want to thank AAIDD for this wonderful award and this honor. Hervey Wilbur was truly a pioneer in the field, and an award in his name means a great deal to me because he really did begin our services and supports in this country. It's very important that we retain the information and the contributions because we truly are a social justice movement. And ensuring that we have that legacy to pass down to other generations is part of why I was honored to be the chair of a National Historic Recognition Project that happened in 1999 and was repeated again last year. We really tried to highlight the significant contributions of people who really helped the transformation and the development of quality options and supports for people with disabilities by establishing a strong community network of services and supports. I would like to ask everybody to continue as we move forward in advocating for a national museum or repository, specifically for people with disabilities. There's a movement now to try to get that underway. And in the meantime, making sure that you are collecting important stories, videos, especially of parents and self-advocates who now are at an age where we're losing many of them, that is retained. Because again, for future generations, it's important to tell the story. Thank you very much. I am more than honored to receive this award, and I appreciate AAIDD's recognition.
For our next award, it gives me great pleasure to present the AAIDD International Award to Richard Hastings of the University of Warwick. This award is presented to recognize outstanding contributions in research, education, service, or advocacy that has had an impact on people with intellectual and developmental disabilities within a particular country or across national boundaries.
Hello, my name is Richard Hastings and I'm the International Award recipient for 2021. I'd like to thank the association very much for the award and also for people that nominated me, Anne Turnbull and Jan Blackcher. And then there's a couple of things that I wanted to say. One about how actually this isn't about me, certainly, but also about what collaboration we might need to have internationally to focus on research in the field of intellectual disability for the future. So first of all, this award has my name on it and I'm very grateful to receive it, thank you. But I'm taking this really as recognition of research that a whole team of people have done over about 30 years that I've been fortunate enough to be involved with. And we carry out applied research in intellectual disability. And by that, I mean, we try to understand some of the many inequalities that face people with intellectual disability and their families in terms of education, in terms of social supports and care, and also in terms of health and mental health supports and care too. So we try to understand some of those inequalities, and we also try and generate solutions, interventions, supports that might be helpful to improve people's quality of life. And so all of the research that we carry out involves partnership with lots of people. So this award really is recognition of people with intellectual disabilities I've worked with, people, family carers of those with intellectual disabilities I've worked with, professionals, organisations who support people with intellectual disability, funding organisations that have been willing to fund research in this area, and also other researchers. So there are hundreds of people that are needed to kind of generate a research output over 30 years that might be useful. So thank you to all of those people, and it is, I think, a recognition of their collaborations and partnerships over many years that perhaps this award is in recognition of. And the second thing I'd like to say in accepting the award is just to emphasise that not only do people with intellectual disabilities and their families face those inequalities that we're all very well aware of, but also that there is an evidence or research inequality that faces this population and their families too. So actually high quality research, especially about interventions, approaches to support services that might be offered to people and how effective they can be. That quality of research is not always fantastic internationally. It is possible to do, and it's only possible to do in collaboration with those different stakeholders I already mentioned. But it's also probably now only possible to do by international collaboration. And I suppose that's a plea that I would like to make in accepting this award, to encourage you all to, whatever your background, whatever sort of stake you hold in the intellectual disability field, work together, and work together with researchers too to generate high quality evidence that might make a difference to people's lives. So again, thank you very much for the awards and for giving me the chance just to say a few words too.
For the next award, it gives me great pleasure to present the Aaidd Leadership Award to Marian Frattarolo Salino of Values into Action, Pennsylvania and New Jersey. This award is presented to recognize work that has guided or directed others in improving the quality of programs for citizens with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Thank you to those who nominated me, and thank you to Aaidd for gifting me this leadership award. After my initial shock and surprise, especially having been included with such an amazing group of colleagues and leaders in the 2021 Aaidd Awards, I remain honored and incredibly humbled and feel deserving of this only in the context of my partnerships with activists, allies, and colleagues now and throughout my career. Having come to the field of disability services as a direct support professional and having been welcomed into people's lives and having been mentored and having numerous opportunities throughout my career to work alongside people with disabilities, disability activists, professionals, family members, I'm just incredibly, incredibly fortunate. And this award belongs to them. It belongs to all of us, and all of us at Values into Action, the community now that is forging the way ahead for services, for supports, for communities here and across the country. What a shining example. And I couldn't be prouder to accept this award on behalf of everyone accepting support with the organization, their families, their direct support professionals, supports brokers and support coordinators, family mentors, both in New Jersey and in Pennsylvania. And I'm clear that I would not be holding this without all of us. Thank you.
Way to go, Marian.
Yeah.
Family.
Go Valley. Go Marian.
You, Marian. Yeah.
Thanks, Aaidd.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
For our next award, it gives me great pleasure to present the Aaidd Media Award to Chris Ulmer of SBSK. This award is presented for significant contributions in depicting Americans with disabilities in a positive light. And we accept the award on his behalf. For our next award, it gives me great pleasure to present the Aaidd Policy Award to Allison Barkoff, who recently joined the Administration on Community Living at HHS. This award is presented for significant contributions to public policy that has advanced the field and resulted in positive outcomes for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
My name is Allison Barkoff, and I am so honored and privileged to accept the AAIDD Policy Award today. For over a century, AAIDD has been a leader in the field of intellectual and developmental disabilities, focusing on research, best practices, and advocacy. And as a family member of a brother with IDD and a longtime disability advocate, both in the public interest world and in the federal government, I have experienced firsthand the changes over the last 40 years and how people with IDD are treated. When my brother was born, we, like all families at that time, were told the only place for Evan was in an institution. There was no such thing as home and community-based services. The expectations for someone like Evan were low, with a focus on custodial care instead of education. People with Down syndrome were only expected to live into their teenage years at that time. 40 years later, the world has dramatically changed because of the work that we have done together. Now, the vast majority of people with IDD live in the community. Children with IDD typically learn in classrooms alongside their non-disabled peers, and more adults with IDD are working alongside non-disabled coworkers in jobs that match their talents and interests. It's been incredible watching the self-advocacy movement grow, with people with IDD helping drive policy changes in their states and nationally. And while we still have so far to go to ensure that the civil and human rights to community inclusion is real for everyone with IDD, we sure have come a long way. I feel so privileged to have been part of that public policy advocacy across my entire career. And AAIDD has been at the forefront of advocating for those changes. I've been so privileged to work with AAIDD for more than a decade, collaborating on a whole range of public policy issues. We've worked together to expand access to home and community-based services, to improve the quality of services and address risks of abuse and neglect. Together, we've ensured people with IDD are supported to make their own decisions and live the lives that they want, and to help the medical field evolve to meet the unique needs of people with IDD as they age. Thank you, IDD. Thank you, AAIDD, for this award. It is such an incredible honor, and it's been such a privilege working with you on all of these public policy issues. I look forward to our continuing to work together to ensure that all people with IDD can live full and healthy lives as valued members of their families, schools, workplaces, and broader community. Thank you.
For our next award, it gives me great pleasure to present the AAIDD Research Award to Colleen Toma of Virginia Commonwealth University. This award is presented for formulations and investigations that have contributed significantly to the body of scientific knowledge in the field of intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Thank you, Maggie, the members of the AAIDD Awards Committee, and particularly to my friends and colleagues, Dr. LaRon Scott and Susan Palmer, who nominated me. I'm so honored to accept this research award, particularly because it comes from the AAIDD organization that counts among its members some of the most prestigious interdisciplinary researchers in our field. The past recipients of this award consist of a who's who's list of the very best researchers in the field of IDD, many of whom have mentored and supported me throughout my career. Thank you to all of them for providing a model for conducting research that not only advances our field, but focuses on the development of supports, services, and strategies that make a difference in the lives of individuals with IDD. I am humbled and honored to be included in this distinguished group. I would also like to thank my family, my husband, Mike, our son, Chris, and my sister, Sue. Each of you have offered me unconditional support as I pursued this career as a faculty member in the field of special education. I could not have been as successful without your love, encouragement, and understanding. I appreciate all that you have done for me, including your patience as we moved across country to finally settle at Virginia Commonwealth University in the Richmond area. Thank you again for this award.
For our next award, it gives me great pleasure to present the AAIDD Service to the Association Award to Evan Dean of the University of Kansas. This award is presented for significant leadership contributions to a chapter, region, or interest network.
Thank you, AAIDD, for this award. I am honored to receive the award from an organization that does so much to advance the research, policy, and practice for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. AAIDD is home for me, and I feel truly lucky to contribute to the important work done here. I'd like to thank some of the people who have been particularly important for supporting me to get involved with AAIDD and also supporting my learning and development over the years. In particular, Carrie Sjogren, who has mentored me and still puts up with me and collaborates with me. Thank you, Carrie. I'd also like to thank some of my other colleagues at the University of Kansas, Mike Waymeyer, Jem Thompson, Susan Palmer, and Rudd Turnbull, who have guided me and supported me along the way. I'd also like to thank my other colleagues at the Kansas University Center on Developmental Disabilities. It takes a team to accomplish anything, and we have a great one. I'm also grateful for Ruth Luckison, who took pity on a first-time conference attendee by introducing him to her students and making him feel welcome. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you again for this award. I look forward to working with you all in the future and in person as we move forward. Thank you.
For our next award, it gives me great pleasure to present the AAIDD Service to the Field Award to John Augusta of HSRI. This award is presented for contributions to improve services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Hi, I'm John Augusta. I'm a senior vice president of the Student Services Research Institute. And I am honored, really, to be receiving this Service to the Field Award this year from AAIDD. It's an amazing honor. You know, getting this honor has made me reflect on my professional life and personal life over so many years, and thinking about so many of the wonderful people that I've met and worked with over all the years. Looking to do one thing, and that is to change things so that we really can realize this notion of a society for all, and that includes people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It's not always been an easy straight line to success, but it's been an amazing journey, sometimes a struggle, and I certainly appreciate all of the people that I've worked with along the way. My very first experience with a person with disabilities was in an institution for children. It was a horrible place. I remember so many of the children that were there, and even in that early moment in my life, I knew it was wrong. I knew that in the United States of America or anywhere in the world, we should not have those kinds of places. And it's closed now, thankfully. But I knew it was wrong, and a lot of other people knew it was wrong too. And we all began a journey together to take that wrong and somehow make it right. And here we are. But the work, I think we all know, is still not over. look around and see so much more to be done. And maybe what's most humbling of all is to realize that a lot of what we built, a lot of what we did is exactly what needs to be undone now as we go forward. And it seems to be such a delight, really, and a privilege and honor, all the rest of it, to be working with people at AAIDD, because this is an organization and be affiliated with where we really can voice together what maybe the next generation of thought and practice is, and not stay stuck. Let's not stay stuck where we were 10 or 15 years ago, but to move forward. And to receive this award, to acknowledge really a career, a lifetime of work in this field, but also as a symbol of the work to be done and the awards to be given to a next generation of people who will work just as hard as I did and any of us did to make the world a better place for all of us, including people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So I want to thank you all again for the acknowledgement, but it's been a pleasure all these years working with you. But before I stop, I wanted to give a kind of a personal shout out to Valerie Bradley and John Ashbaugh. Valerie Bradley still working with us at HSRI, and John's retired now. But these were founders at HSRI, and they were the ones who gave me my chance back in the day, and gave me a chance to contribute, and they make me proud, and I hope I've made them proud. And there's still lots for us to do, and for all of us to press on. So thank you all, and I hope you have a terrific day.
For our final award, it gives me great pleasure to present the AAIDD Student Award to Kristen Del Armo of Ohio State University. This award is presented to recognize student contributions to the field of intellectual disabilities.
Hi, everyone. So I wanted to just express my really sincere gratitude for this incredible award. When I was told that I needed to record some kind of an acceptance speech, I started thinking about what I wanted to say. And I thought back to the very first AAIDD conference I ever attended, which was 6 years ago during my very first year of grad school. And that year, I remember attending the awards breakfast, and I watched Maggie Mailing, who at the time was an older student in my lab, as she received this exact same award. And I remember thinking how incredible it would be to be standing up there myself one day. And I didn't really know it at the time, but over the course of the last 6 years, AAIDD has come to play a really important role in my professional development. And I am so thankful to have found this organization and this community. And although I'm not exactly standing in front of you all today, I am still incredibly honored and humbled to be receiving this award. So I wanted to say thank you to Mark Tasse and Susan Haverkamp for nominating me for this award, and a really special thanks to Mark, who is my advisor, for all of the support that he's provided me the past 6 years throughout my entire graduate school career. So thank you again to both of you, and thank you to AAIDD for this incredible honor.
This concludes the AAIDD 2021 award ceremony. The nominations for 2022 awards and fellow status opens this September. Thank you.